This is a heartfelt documentary of the houndsman that got me into the sport. My grandfather, Ferry Leon Bilbrew. He's the one where I call the middle of the night if I have any problems with my pups. He answers if I have any problems with my dogs or just how to take care of them or handle them in the woods. He's the one I go to. So I really look up to him. I wouldn't be in this sport if it wasn't for him. So Pop, if you're watching this video, and eventually you will because you subscribed, just know that I love you and thank you so much. And just know that this houndsman tradition will carry on through me because of you. Thank you so much. I love you. And let's get with this video. Thanks.
We had a good time, and this morning he sent me a list of all the things that he wants to interview me on. So I want to get that done and over with because he's been talking about that for a while. But it's so good to see you again, sir.
So this was your hunting spot?
Yeah, this is my favorite hunting spot.
Your favorite. And there's the 5th Army.
All the 5th Army, this was my favorite. I always caught coons in here. Very seldom. And this is where this part here made me quit coon hunting. Because my dog struck the track right down that road there. 1,000 feet down the road. I was walking down this gateway here. And I had a friend with me that was not a coon hunter. I was walking down that way. And I got down there about 500 feet, and my dog went out there and struck, and she ran that coon all the way back to Jackson Creek. And we went to her. I made it to her all right, but I had to crawl on my hands and knees all the way up through here to get back to my truck, because we park right here. They allowed us to park here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I treat a lot of them in there, in those woods there. I treat a lot of coons. Sassy go up in there and tree them, boy. She wasn't no joke. And she was a hot-nosed dog, and she wouldn't mess with a cold track. Sassy go right down in there and don't be no time she'll have one tree. And she was very slow. She wasn't no high-power dog like these guys running now. These guys nowadays got these competition dogs. Like the guy that I'm telling you about in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
You need to let me talk to him before you get a dog. Because he'll sell you one of them competition dogs, and you won't be happy. You spend more time walking for the dog than you do catching coon. Sassy was a pleasure hunting dog. She wasn't nothing fancy. She was a close hunter. And when she treed, she had to meat. You know you're gonna have something to take back home to cook. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't like competition dogs because as a rule, you ain't gonna never win a hunt if your dog don't get out there, get out from around everybody and go out there and strike a track and treat a coon. And you have to walk miles in the woods with a competition dog. And you maybe get 1 or 2 coons that night. Because after that, you're gonna be so tired, you're ready to go home. But if you check into a cast at a coon club and a cast, you got to stay out there till the hunt's over. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't like that. I only had 2 dogs that were qualified for a competition hunt, and I lost all of them. Because my dog, the judge went up in there with my dog Tree, and he put his hands on my dog. And my dog bit him in true blood. And he scratched me out. I could no longer participate in the hunt.
But you know your dog was out there.
Even though I was first strike and first tree. She was the first one struck. It was a he. It was a walker. But he was very temperamental. He used to try to boss the tree. When he treed that coon, he didn't want no other dog around that tree. If it did come up around there, he would fight him. You don't want no dogs like that. The tree a coon, man. That Sassy dog, oh, she tree him right around me. Man, I didn't never have to worry about that, you know?
You know you had Sassy, you had the meat.
I had the meat. And that's what it's about in Mississippi. And that's what it was about with me and the coon hunter that I used to hunt with. They some bad people, man. You can have your dog out there in your dog tree, and they argue you down that they dog was there first so they can take the meat. But I didn't care. It was just good to have company out there, to see them, to be with somebody in the wood. Most of the time I hunted by myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's no fun. You have somebody else out there with a dog, he may be better or not as good as your dog. But when you got them people that hog all the meat, it didn't feel good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I gave it to them because I appreciate their company. I didn't need no meat. My freezer had meat in it. You know, I had 4 or 5 coons in there. I could cook a coon whenever I get ready. And then, too, I can take that Sassy dog out the day I want to cook a coon and go catch one fresh and cook it. And Sassy used to tree coons right in them trees over there by my house, in the pen, in the kennel. All I had to do was get my .22 rifle and shoot them out, but then the neighbors called the police, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a problem. But Sassy would tree them in the kennel. And the coon would not leave. It looked like they were paralyzed up in the tree. They were scared to come down. And she couldn't get out the kennel, and she was treeing hard in the kennel. 4 or 5 times I got coon like that. And I just went out there and shot them, but the neighbors called the police on me, so I soon cut that out, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't get around too good in the woods. So at nighttime, I never shine a light when I'm walking in the woods. And you don't know where your feast is going. We only shut the lights on, and that's another thing about a coon dog, Cyrus. If you shine the light all the time, every time you shine a light, they think it's a coon and they'll quit hunting. They'll quit hunting. I done ruined a lot of dogs like that. I never shine my light until I get to the tree that they called me to. Never shine my light. Because I done ruined a lot of dogs like that. Every time you shine a light, they quit hunting. They think you got a coon and they coming up there because they want to be in on the fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I ruined a lot of dogs like that.
But Sassy wasn't ruined.
No. Sassy didn't care whether you shine a light or not. She was going to stay at her tree. And some dogs would not stay treed. Some dogs I've had that they treat a coon, and when they hear you stepping on them sticks and things on the ground, coming up to the tree, they'll leave. And you go there and try to find the tree that they was at, and there's no coon there. That was disappointing. There's all kinds of little things that them coon dogs get tangled up in out there, you know?
It's a mind game, man.
Yeah. But this guy down in Oklahoma, he got some coon dogs. Woo! And they the same bloodline Sassy was in.
Hey, buddy. He's dead.
Same bloodline.
Michigan Swamp, right?
Huh?
Michigan Swamp?
Michigan Swamp. Michigan Swamp Rooster.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a good coon dog was until I got Sassy. I had all these dogs and I was so proud of them and thought they were so good. But when I got Sassy, I found out what a real coon dog was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They said she wasn't the fastest, but she had the brains and she had the grit, right?
She wasn't fast, man. Them guys in Oklahoma that I'm telling you about that got these dogs, they took her down there to breed her for me, tried to get her little puppies out, but she was already too old. And they took her out hunting. They said they wouldn't have a dog like that. They wouldn't give you $5 for her.
Oh.
And to me, she was the best thing I ever had. And see, they hunting grounds are different from mine. I had very close quarters to hunt in. Down in Oklahoma, they got thousands of miles them dogs can run. They don't even walk in the woods. They drive their truck around and get closest to the dog as they can, then go in there.
Yeah, they're on the Ozark Mountains, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They drive their trucks around because them dogs go so far, you know. You can't walk behind them like we did here and like we did in Mississippi. In Mississippi, it was impossible for you to take a truck and drive around to get close to your dog. You can hear them trees, you know, just get close as you can to them.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And it's music to my ear to hear them tree.
So what would be Sassy's cadence? Well, what would be her? You know, every dog got a different ball.
A different voice. Yeah, a different voice.
So if you can describe Sassy's, what would it be?
Sassy used a tree like this. When she first come in that tree, she said, "Oh, oh, 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 oh," and she keep doing that till you get there, all the way. I don't care how far you is, she keeps saying, "Oh, oh, oh," till you get there. She letting you know where that tree is at.
So she only locates one time.
That's all.
And then she hammers down.
Yes, sir. Then I had another dog named TG. I got him from Oklahoma too, but he was crazy, man. He used to think he was a coon and climb the tree. And I was so afraid he was gonna get killed that when he fall down, the other dog was gonna maul him, you know? But he died in my pen. He hung himself. I took Sass out hunting, didn't take him, and he used to break out of the pen so bad, I had the time in there, you know? And he jumped over the fence and hung himself. He was a good tree dog. Oh my goodness. He was a walker. His name was TG.
They always came to Sassy?
Yes, sir. They honored her when she treed because they know she had it. They honored her. The shop is very safe. It don't have these fancy safeties. It's just a plain, it's an old school 22. Those are the low caliber bullets I use to euthanize coon. Okay? This is it right here. This was my main gun for coon hunting. This is the only gun I use for coon hunting. Okay?
I bet you it still works like a charm.
It do. See here? Put one bullet in there. And this is where you cock it at. You pull this back. Like that, it's cocked now. You see?
And you're ready to go.
And you're ready to go. If you don't pull that back, it won't go off. I seen peoples in the woods hunting coon with these fancy guns, and somebody gets shot. Because when you crossing over a fence, something always catch up and hit that trigger and shoot somebody. I know one guy, he died about 6 years ago. He shot his hand off getting across a fence with that fancy gun he had. I don't want no fancy gun.
Sassy's paperwork.
You can see all the dogs she came out of. And the dog, if you get a dog from that guy down there, you match the papers up, and you're going to see some of the same breeding. But it's going to go way, you're going to have to go back, I don't know how many generations. The judge.
In the competition that one?
He was good, but he go too far. I didn't like him. He go too far, I got rid of him. I gave him to a guy in Texas. That's Stu.
Stu.
Stu was more of a competition dog. He was not my favorite. And Sassy was one of my best dogs I ever had here on this property. Out of all the dogs, when you start going through that book, you're going to see how many dogs been through here. Sassy was the best. She satisfied me more than any of them. Okay? And I had one dog here that was blind. He still treat coon for me. Blind. He hunt blind. And he treat coon to the day he died. He's buried out there by the Peace Tree too. That was my first dog. A friend of mine gave him to me that lived in southern Illinois. But out of all the dogs that I had, Sassy was my favorite because she satisfied me the way I hunt. When you get a hound dog, you got to make sure you get the dog that satisfies you. The bloodline didn't make that much difference, but the dog made the difference. You can have the best bloodline in the world, and the dog don't make you happy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so I stayed with Sassy. So happened, all the dogs that come from that bloodline that I know of and have read about in the bloodline that she was in turned out to be really nice coon dogs. But I know for a fact all of them would not satisfy me. They would not. The way Sassy's style of hunting and everything, it satisfied me. I whooped her butt one night. She treated a coon and I thought it was a possum, and I whooped Sassy's butt. And I got down on my hands and knees and kissed her and hugged her. It was an albino coon. And I got him hanging up in that bedroom, and I'll show it to you. But Sassy, it was an albino coon, and I thought it was a possum. Because when you're on the ground and them coon way up in the tree, you really can't tell. You know what I mean? You really can't tell, especially if they are a color. You know? And an albino coon is very difficult to come by. And the reason they are albino coon, because they've been inbreed. Inbreed causes that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Causes that albino color. And I whooped her at that tree. I was mad. But when I shot it down and seen it was an albino coon, I got on my hands and knees, hugged her and kissed her. And she forgave me right away because she started wagging her tail at me. Coon hunter, any other type of hunting, and do you have any wildwood stories about coon hunting? Every story is good. I enjoyed it. Coon hunting so much, but that wasn't the only kind of hunting I did. I hunted rabbits and pheasants. You know what I mean? And squirrels. And I had a different group of peoples that I went with. Everybody's not a coon hunter. They don't like being out there at night. But I hunted squirrels and rabbits, and they did not hunt squirrel with dogs, although they do have what they call a mountain cur. They'll hunt coons and squirrels. You can hunt squirrels with them all day, and then they'll change over to coons at night. They're real tiny dogs. They call them mountain cur. They're very good dogs. But I never owned one. I always like to stick with a coon dog. A mountain cur hunts sort of like Sassy. They hunt close to you. They don't go far, far away. Oh no, they don't do that. They stick close to you and hunt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I had to do another type dog, it would have been a mountain cur. And then they don't eat a lot. They very small dog and they got a small stomach. They don't eat a lot. So, rabbits, squirrels, and pheasants I hunted. And I had a special gun that was handed down to me through the family that I used for rabbit hunting. And I was very good with it. But it's heavy. I was very good with it. And pheasant it take down, but it was no good for squirrels. I had a single shot 12 gauge that I used for squirrel with a long barrel, 36-inch barrel. I got it in that room in there. But I never did like shooting it. That was my very first gun. When I shoot that gun, it'll take your shoulder off. It kicks so hard. But that sweet shooting 16 gauge double barrel that I hunted pheasant and rabbit with, I never get hurt shooting that gun. All I did was put the animal right between the railroad tracks and pull the trigger, and I got him every time. You know what I mean? And I killed more rabbits with this than you can name. Okay? And pheasants.
Okay.
It was handed down through the family. This gun got to be over 80 years old or 90.
Wow.
It's a double barrel. And it's real heavy. And mister, I don't mess with this thing. When I'm aiming at a rabbit, I can't even see good now. But when I'm aiming at a rabbit, I don't worry about this bead here. I just put him right down between the railroad tracks. And I got him. This is my collection right here.
It's amazing.
You know? This is the gun here though. If I want to go get something to eat, forget the rest of it. You know?
Absolutely.
Now, as far as the best gun, is this over here. It's Browning.
The Browning.
That's a more quality gun, worth money. But I can't hit with it. What good is it doing? You know?
But the one that our family had.
Right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This one right here.
How many generations?
This been down to 5 generations. You take it. Put the rest of them under the bed. I'm gonna sell them. You take it.
Really?
Make sure it's a double barrel now. You think you can get away taking it or you gotta drive?
Yes. I have 2 actually in my truck already.
Okay.
I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Put them back under the bed. I'm gonna sell them.
Yes, sir.
That's an easy one. My dad was a bee killer. The way he gave honey to us to eat as kids, he used to walk around in the woods and find trees where wild bees were living. He would go there and cut the tree down and take all the honey out. And he'd bring it and strain it, and it was so good. And that's what we had for the winter, to put on our pancakes and toast, okay? I said I wanted to be different. I wanted to be a beekeeper and keep it going. You know what I mean? Keep the bees going.
Absolutely.
And then I came up here to Chicago and I found out there was people doing that. So I just jumped right on board and got with them and learned as much as I could. And I turned out to be a pretty good beekeeper. You know? You see, I got people calling me, asking me questions. You know what I mean? I turned out to, and I'm real known in this area. People know me as a beekeeper. They know me as a trapper. Not so much a tree, because this is all new. You understand what I mean? But as a trapper and a hunter, coon hunter, they used to come here for meat and beekeeping. They come here for honey. I had a lady come here about a month ago. She brought honey for me 3 years ago, and she come back to see that I still produce honey. I said, no, ma'am. I'm trying to raise bees now, not honey. I can't lift, I can't do that work. I told her it was the end to everything. And it's the end of me producing honey, you know?
Show y'all Sassy's last, but this is history I'm opening up right now. So this was TG. Still TG. It's crazy, man. And here goes Stu. Stu was registered through PKC. Zoom in on his stuff. All right, Papa, I see you. He had a English female blue tit. English dog. Blue June. Purple ribbon. I'll get a good look at it. And this is Sparky. He was through UKC. Sparky. Purple Ribbon Peach Creek Sparky. Comes from Night Champion, Grand Night Champion, Heat Avid, Night Champion, Stylish Silk, Grand Night Champion, Daniels Bandit, Grand Night Champion, Purple Ribbon, Sally, Grand Night Champion, Purple Ribbon Halls. Oh, and it's Sparky. And this is Papa's favorite dog and the best dog he ever owned, Sassy. Let's zoom in so y'all can see it better. Her papers. Sassy. Yep, Sassy. Best dog he ever owned. That was his favorite. Sassy.